Welcome to The Worthy Woman, a podcast for the intuitive, ambitious woman who's ready to regulate her nervous system, reconnect with her body, and rise to the next level of success, health, and purpose. I'm your host, Jo, manual osteopath, holistic coach, and nervous system guide, here to walk with you as you heal from the inside out and create a life and a business that actually feels good. On this podcast, we explore the connection between your body, emotions, subconscious patterns, and your ability to lead, create, and live from your worth. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to another episode of The Worthy Woman. My name is Johanna. Welcome. Today, I wanted to talk about timelines, and with that, talking about timelines in which we expect things to happen in our lives, in our businesses. And it's kind of interesting. So I don't really have any notes for today. We're just going with this one. We're just riffing here. And I'm currently sitting in my Airbnb that I rented to host my Reiki training, which is today and tomorrow. So I just finished day one. And I'm training other people to become certified in Reiki training. Or just Reiki in general, sorry. So as I sit here and I'm trying to think of, okay, what do I want to talk about this week? And what have I been navigating? And what's been coming up in my life and my journey? And timelines are an interesting topic. They're all the rage right now. They're all the rage in the spiritual community, as well as, just like, I guess if you follow this stuff, like I see it because I see it all the time because I believe in this stuff, right? So it's like, my algorithms and all that kind of stuff are kind of catered to my belief. But what I think sometimes goes missing in this realm of work, when it comes to energetics and, our businesses, when it comes to like, our timelines of what we want to happen, our goals, our visions, if I just shift this belief, then like everything will fall into place, right? And so what I kind of want to talk about is this aspect of what we sense, which is like immediate gratification. And if you hear noises, it's because there's some children walking by on the street. Truthfully, as a side story, I just tried to make some tea. Well, I did make tea, but I'm in this Airbnb and I don't know if someone has used the stove very often, but it's not dirty, but it's just, I had to boil the kettle on the stove, and the scent was a little scary. So I had to open the window, even though it's the middle of winter right now in Canada. But my tea is delicious. So going back to what I was talking about was that it's like instant gratification though. And so it's like we have this idea of like, oh, if I just do this thing immediately, then like I'll get this result right away. And our whole world is like that. With technology, like our life and things move very, very fast. And so when things don't move fast, we panic, right? And I know I do this all the time. And this is why I'm bringing this up, because I'm currently navigating this in aspects of my business. And there is, again, sorry for the noise, but there is this element of when we're trying to shift timelines, when we're trying to go from consistently getting one outcome and we want a totally different outcome, there is a time aspect where we have to first shift our internal energy, our internal state, before we can start to manifest and create that in our material world, in this 3D reality. So what that means is that when you are trying to manifest and create something in your life, let's say you want to make $20,000 a month. If you're trying to do that, you first have to shift your energetic vibration internally, like your personal state. Your beliefs have to be at a certain space where you have to believe that that's possible for yourself. You have to be open to receiving that energetically. Your vibration has to shift. Your aura, you might have to clear certain things, blocks, beliefs, whether they're subconscious or other people's beliefs, right? You got to clear all the debris that's getting in the way of you manifesting that $20,000 month. Now, when you clear those things, you might feel really good, but then you're going to get out of that situation. You're going to be like, the world has not caught up. I don't have $20,000 of clients coming to me every month. And it could happen quickly, but it could also take some time, because sometimes we have to then be able to put the actions and the things in place in order to make that a reality. So if you don't have the systems and structures in place to make $20,000, now it could come out of nowhere. It could come out of thin air, truthfully. But if we're just speaking purely business and we want to make $20,000 based on the clients we see, the work that we do, we have to have the systems and structures in place. Sometimes what happens when you shift your energy, you shift your frequency, you shift your beliefs, is that maybe what happens is you start to have a brilliant idea. And then that has to be brought to life and that's going to be the $20,000 ticket, right? That might be the thing that opens the door for you to make that kind of money. And so in that situation, things have to fall into place. And I just saw 555 on my little clock here. Those things have to fall into place for you to recognize that they have to fall into place in the sense of like things have to be put into place, right? There has to be structure, but you had to shift your energy to get even the thought, right? To get the idea. And so when we think of timelines, and this is coming up for me in my business, where it's like we so easily want to pivot, or we so easily want to like, I don't want to say give up, because it's usually not what we do. A lot of us pivot. We're like, oh, this isn't working, so I'm going to try something else. Oh, this isn't working, I'm going to try something else. But are we giving it enough space to marinate? Are we giving it enough space and time? Do we need to shift our energy so that that thing that we were trying to do then can actually take off? A lot of us get focused on the wrong things. We get focused on the strategy. We get focused on the time. We get focused on like these earthly realm things. And those things are important too. It's not that those things are not important. But we forget that we're magical. And I talked about this in a couple episodes ago where I was talking about being delusional about your business. I can't remember if that was last week or the week before. But we have so much power that we don't even realize that we have in order to, again, shift our state or create a whole different reality for ourselves. But in order for, again, our world to kind of catch up, we either have to shift our energy initially, and then we have to give it time. I'll give an example for me right now. In my world, I am looking at, I already run my own practice, my own clinical practice, but I'm really wanting to expand my clientele, get things to where it's like consistent. I know I've got, clients. I know I have clients every month, but like the amount of clients that I would like to have every month. And I want to have my own clinic space. I want to have other practitioners. My vision is big for what I want. And so I have had to shift my energy to start making that a reality. But what shifting my energy has allowed me to do is hold faith, make big decisions in leaps, like going out on my own. It's also allowed me to get in contact with people who can help me, with branding and imaging and what's my messaging. It's gotten me in contact with a lot of people. Now, by doing the energy work, that brings opportunities, experiences, things around me, ideas that I even have of like directions to go into. It opens me up for opportunities that are already around me, but I can now see. And the thing is I can't wake up, and maybe this is a limiting belief, but I can't wake up tomorrow and just have my own clinic. there's a lot of things that have to fall into place, or things that I have to do or pay people to do or set up in order for me to have the vision that I have, right? I have to do the branding. I have to create the website. I have to hire the practitioners. I have to rent the space. I have to do all these little things. And it's not that those processes have to be hard, because I can definitely manifest and create a timeline where those things fall into my lap. But they still have to be done regardless, right? And if you want things to be built, we have to take aligned action. And right now, I'm working on shifting my energy, shifting my frequency to align myself with those things in my life. And also, I know it's going to take space and time to create that. Now, I'm potentially helping them happen on a faster timeline, because if I didn't do this energetic work, it would probably take me a long time to have the courage and the bravery to set out on my own and do this type of work, right? And take these kinds of actions that I know are going to get me to that space. A lot of times we don't take action on things because we are worried, fears come up, insecurities, doubts. We start procrastinating because we're like, oh, it's not perfect yet, right? And when we start to do this energetic work, we start to realize, like, I can just take action in any sort of way, and like, it's still progress, it's still movement, and it doesn't have to look perfect in order to yield a result. So energy work, specifically subconscious work, it's almost like this invisible work that we do on ourselves that is super, super important. It's invisible even when we don't know it's affecting us, like in the sense of when it's not where it needs to be, it's invisible, because we don't always realize it's the problem. We always think our marketing or our content or our images or whatever are the problem. A lot of time it's an internal frequency. And so there's that element of, like, you know, when it's a problem, we don't always realize it's a problem. And when we know it's a problem and we're starting to work on it, nobody can really see the work but you, right? Like this requires internal work where you're like, I have to trust that this is going to do what I think it's going to do, right? And then you got to let life catch up and show you the results of the work that you've been doing on yourself. And so I wanted to talk about this because I feel like there's a part of this work that can scare people away because, again, there's no guarantee, right? You're like, well, how do I know that this is going to work? How do I know that this technique, this Reiki, this subconscious belief, like, how do I know that this is real, that this is going to work, that this is my problem? You know, all of these components. And the truth is we don't. We just have to kind of trust. But there's so much of the work that is invisible. And like I said, it scares people away. And then on the flip side of it, there's a lot of this work that it's easy to do this work and kind of bypass the actions and the things that you need to do in order to make your dreams a reality. And so we have to have this balance between the subconscious energetic work and the actions that we take in our business. But what I've found is that you need the energy and alignment first before the strategy and the action. And that's because when we put the strategy and the action first, it takes away or has us maybe taking unaligned actions, or has us moving in a way that's not actually meant for us, or moving in a way that's not actually the direction we're supposed to be going, because we're getting like altered signals. We're not getting a clear channel, a clear signal for the things that we're supposed to be doing, if that makes sense. So it's almost like you're trying to take directions and take action from directions that aren't very clear. It's like you can't hear the person on the other end of the line, or, you know, the text comes through, but it's not spelled correctly, and so it leads you astray. So if we clean up our energy, and if we clean up our beliefs and our thoughts and our frequency and our nervous system, we will then be able to take action in aligned ways, know what's for us, know what isn't for us, and that's going to speed up the process immensely. A lot of people avoid this work. It seems simple. It's like there's no way that could work. There's no way that could shift. I can tell you from experience it does. And it's crazy how much in a short span, your life can not only shift, but also go in a direction that you didn't even expect, right? Like I never would have thought a year ago that I would be teaching Reiki today, right? That's not where my brain was of what was on a path for me. But it did. And it did because I started shifting my energy and shifting my frequency and started shifting, how I show up. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk on. I'm going to take a little drink of my tea. But I feel like it's important because there's this nuance, and a lot of this work can seem very, sorry, there's a school bus going by. It's a very busy time of day, obviously, when I'm doing this, but there's a lot of this work that seems very kind of airy-fairy. It almost seems like ungrounded in a way that it's like, it seems so spiritual. It seems so like, what do you mean I just have to lie down and listen to some music, It seems kind of ridiculous at times, right? But the truth is that it does a lot. It does a lot for us. And without this kind of work, I don't think I would be as far in my career to this day right now as I have. Like the changes and shifts that I've had in my career over the last couple of years has been kind of crazy. And yeah, I'm still working through things, and yeah, I'm still trying to get certain things off the ground and, get to that big vision, because I always have this big dream, this big vision for myself. But that can be really far off in the sense of like, again, there's a lot of things in the midterm, right, that need to get done before I get to that place. And energy work helps you get there and also stay calm, cool, and collected in the process when not only shit's hitting the fan, but you're also having to wait. Trusting that you're doing the right things and that you're on the right path gets so much easier when you have done the nervous system and the energetic work and you start to believe in your path and the actions and the direction in which you're going in. But it's so hard to do that when we are dysregulated, because that's when fear comes in. That's when, lack mindsets come in. That's when our shadow aspects and our ego comes in and be like, oh, maybe it's not working, right? All of those things get heightened when we are dysregulated. So if you take anything from today's episode, because this is kind of a random one in the sense of, I hope it made sense when you listen to this. I feel like what I want you to take from this is that if you are taking actions in your business, how do you feel about the direction that you're going? Do you feel like you trust your direction? Do you feel like your direction feels good? Do you have clarity? Do you trust in where you're going and what's unfolding for you? And are you trusting in the timeline and the process? Because yeah, I could sit here and sell you all this stuff about how the subconscious mind, you can shift things instantly and make thousands and tens of thousands of money, because that's always the big stories people tell you. But realistically, I'm not going to tell you that. I have a really hard time claiming those things, because I also know that it can be a lot of work and it can take time, and we have to commit and devote ourselves to the path of our timeline, of our goals. We have to stay devoted. And if you can keep taking these small aligned actions and shifting your energy so that you stay in alignment along the way, I promise you will get there quicker than you would have if you didn't do it. But I'm not going to promise you that it's overnight. And I'm not going to promise you that it's easy. And I'm not going to promise you that it's not going to feel weird, because it's probably going to. Because you're going to have to do things that maybe are uncomfortable, or face things that might be uncomfortable. And I think that's what I love about energy work specifically. Obviously, like, I incorporate Reiki into what I do, and it's powerful because, within 30 to 60 minutes, you can shift your energy. You can release things. You can clear things. And it can yield results. But in order for us to create different patterns and habits and processes, we also have to be willing to do the daily work. Not just do the fluffy stuff that is fun that sounds cool, that everyone else is doing. Like, yes, those things can work, but also we have to be in this for the long haul, especially when it comes to our dreams and our business. We have to be in it for the long haul. And doing the nervous system work, doing the energy work helps you stay on that path to do everything for the long haul instead of bouncing around all over the place. So again, hopefully that made sense for you, and hopefully it was helpful for you. I am basically, I'm trying to figure out what I want to tell you. I'm trying to tell you that, yeah, this work isn't easy, but it's so rewarding when it's done, and sometimes you don't even know you've done it until you're there and you're like, holy shit, it happened. I did it. Like, I've made it to the other side. I've changed my reality. It can be a process, and we have to appreciate that process and know that that process is also for our highest good. So a little bit of a different episode today. If you guys are looking to work with me, I have my bundle that is 3 sessions over about 6 to 8 weeks, and it's coaching blended with the Reiki and energetic work to have that shift and have that change. And I'm going to be taking 3 spots, like 3 clients over the month of March to start that process. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check out the link in my bio or the description box or show notes or wherever the heck we are right now, whatever app we're on right now. And also you can always reach out to me on like Instagram and that sort of thing. So, and then otherwise there is also like I have distance and in-person Reiki sessions depending on if you're local to me or not. If you're not local to me, you can get distance Reiki sessions. So just reach out to me and we can coordinate a time of day, especially if you're on a different time zone than me. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for being here as always. And yeah, I will talk to you guys next week, and I might have more to share about my Reiki training that's happening. And we'll see where things take me. So I hope you guys have a good one, and we'll chat next week.